Nope, I didn't get punched in the face. It's that time of the month. So hey everyone, I got requested to do a acne covering video, so I'll leave the request right here. So this lovely person wanted me to show purely how I cover my acne scars, or like pimples that are like erupting on my face. Like right now I have like 4 planets on my face. It's purely disgusting, but I only get like pimples or acne, whatever you call it, when it's that time of the month. So once a month my face kind of erupts really bad. Sometimes I skip it, like sometimes it's the time of the month, but I don't get anything. So this month it happened and I thought, why not I film this video? It's like perfect timing. So I have 2 methods on how I cover up my skin. They are purely based on how I feel for the day. One method is the high-end version, and then the other method is the low-end version. So high-end, low-end meaning the products that I use. I don't use a great deal of products. I only use one product when it comes to covering my acne scars and blemishes, just because I like using products that are super pigmented and that work well. I hate using multiple products just to cover up something. When I buy a concealer or invest my money into a concealer, I do my research and I make sure that it works really well and that it does its job, that it's super pigmented, that it covers, that it doesn't dry, it doesn't go crackly or anything like that. So as you know, if you do suffer from breaking out, like if you're a teenager and you're going through that hormonal stage, or if you're like me and it's that time of the month, or you just get breakouts because of a bad foundation or just not washing your face properly, first thing that you have to do is obviously wash your face on a daily basis, especially using a product that contains salicylic acid. That's a key active ingredient when it comes to getting rid of blemishes and acne and things like that. So after I wash my face, so what I like to go in with is a pimple cream. So the one that I've been using and I clearly love is the Clearasil Ultra Rapid Action Pimple Cream. So this cream is, you only get 15 ml, which is, you think it's a little, but it is a lot considering how long I've had this for. So what I like about this cream is that it reduces the size of the pimple and the redness while not leaving it all crusty and dry it out. I know some products out there tend to really dry out the pimple and leave it crusty and gross, and it just doesn't look attractive when you try to put foundation over it. It just makes it a massive big mess. But what I love about this, it doesn't do that, but it still reduces the size and the redness of the pimple. So this is a really nice consistency. It's not a gel, it's a nice white cream. What I do is I just apply it as a little spot treatment and just let it rub in and then just soak in. So as you can see, I have a lot of issues at the moment. So I give this a couple of seconds to absorb, just let it soak in and let it do its magic. So after I apply this, after it's absorbed, soaked in and it's doing its job, I like to go in with my moisturizer. So the one that I'm using is a brand that I cannot say. So it's a corrective unclogging care anti-perfections anti-marks cream. So this is a bit pricey. It is from Priceline. I tend to buy it when it's on the 40% off sale just because it is very expensive. If you do want to savor this or prolong the use of this, you can use it as a spot treatment also, but I like using this as a moisturizer. It definitely reduces the amount of marks that I have on my skin. This area here was very problematic for me at the start of the year. Once I purchased this and started using it, I saw a massive dramatic difference. Obviously you can still see the scarring, but it's not as dark as it used to be. It was much more darker, much more visible. I needed a lot more concealer to cover everything, but now I don't even have to put concealer over this. I can just go get away with it with foundation. So it has reduced a lot of the darkness. So once you've applied your favorite pimple creams and your favorite moisturizer, it's best to go in with a primer. So you want to definitely smooth out these bumps. So obviously a primer is not going to erase the bump, but it's going to smooth it out. So whatever products you apply on top of that, whether it be foundation, powder, whatever you want, there's a smooth base for it so it doesn't seep into the cracks of the pimple. It doesn't create crusty coatings or anything like that. So a primer that I've been loving at the moment has been my e.l.f. Mineral Face Primer. So it fills in the fine lines and creates a flawless finish. So I've got the purple one, and this one is for brightening the skin. So when I do have acne, my face is a bit dull. I look a bit dull just because I know, I've got pimples on my face, so I want to brighten up my skin and make it look much more fresh and clear looking. So those are a couple of steps that I take before I actually go into covering my acne spots. So I'm going to first start off with the low end version on how I cover my acne scars. So I only use one product, and I find that this product does an amazing job. And yeah, I'll show you. So what I like to use is the Maybelline New York Concealer. I think this is from the Fit Me line, and I'm in number 30 Cafe. So the only downside about this concealer is that they don't really have a good color range. I think there's like maybe 6 to 8 colors, don't quote on me, but there's not a great color range. But I love this concealer because of the price and the actual product itself. It has really good coverage, the consistency of it is really great, and the pigmentation of it is really, really good. There's so much pigmentation in this product, and I was actually surprised as to how much there was. So I'm going to demonstrate how well this concealer works on these bad boys right here. So you can see there's a lot of redness in my pimples, and there's just ickiness. So I'm going to take a little bit, just put it on top. And you can use a brush to blend it in, whatever. I like using my finger personally. I'm not really fancy or fussed about it. So when I do blend it in, I don't swoosh it around. I just like to tap it in. And you can tell already, obviously you can see the bumps just because they've really risen and high up. Concealer won't reduce the size of it. To purely reduce the size of the pimple, you have to do the steps that I showed you before. So make sure you're using a corrective face wash that contains salicylic acid, pimple creams, etc. like that. But to cover it, this is amazing. It gets rid of the darkness, it gets rid of the redness especially. You saw how red it was. And yeah, so it's really pigmented, which I really, really like. So I'm going to show you the rest of my face. So once again, you can see how red it is. Just apply a bit. One here. And so I just put some on my nose, and you can't even tell that I actually had a red spot there. I really, really like this concealer. In Australia, I think it ranges around $15, which is not that bad. You saw how well it covers red scars, or not scars, red pimples or active pimples. I'm going to show you how it covers up actual dark scars like here. So I'm going to take a little bit once again and just apply. Maybe reduce a bit of the redness around my nose, the darkness around my nose. And I'm just going to blend that in. The color range is not that amazing, but I'm in NC45 and Cafe works for me as a normal concealer. It's slightly a bit darker, but I don't mind just because my foundation kind of balances it out. So don't mind the darkness that the concealer has made around it, but the coverage of it is fabulous. I just love the coverage. It's insane, and yeah. So I'm going to just conceal around my nose. So once again, you can see that it's taken away the redness, it's taken away the dark acne scars. You saw how big these two pimples were, how red, how intensely red they were, and it did an amazing job. So this concealer is amazing. I love this stuff. For $15, it's amazing. The pigmentation of it, that's the one thing that I can't get over with. Usually Maybelline concealers, one, the color is not even there for me. Two, it barely covers anything. It just like makes this kind of weird mess over my face. But this one, I was really surprised. I heard this concealer through reviews. I didn't actually go buy it just to try it out. I heard it through reviews, and then I purchased it because I heard people raving about it on how good it was, and I'm going to be one of those people too. I'm going to rave on how good this is. So you can clearly tell it covers really well. So obviously if I put on my foundation, put on my blush, put on my mascara and everything, I'll look on point. I like to use concealer generally when I apply, before I apply my foundation. Some people like to apply the foundation and then apply the concealer. I like to do this first just because you saw the color is not 100%. So I like to put this first and then correct the color with my foundation on top. And also I know which scarring appears through my foundation. So yeah, it's really just purely based on you if you want to put on the concealer first or the foundation first. But other than that, I really, really like this. Okay, so now on to the high-end products that I use. So when it comes to high-end, I know not everyone can afford it, but I thought I'd still put this option out there just because some people prefer high-end products. It's just purely based on what you like to use on your face. So generally what I go for when it comes to high-end MAC products, I feel like their concealers are really creamy, really, really good when it comes to correcting and to covering your acne scars or blemishes and stuff like that. So I have two little products that I use. This is also purely based on how I feel. If I feel like going the low-end route where I use my Maybelline, I go for that. If I feel like using my high-end stuff, I go for that. Just really purely based on how I'm feeling for the day. So I have two products that I like to use. I have first the Prep and Prime, and it's the Peach Lustre one. So this is definitely a product if you have the money to splurge. It's great for correcting your skin. Dark scarring like this and your concealer doesn't seem to cover it 100%. You can correct those scars with a orangey kind of correcting color. So that's what I was told at MAC. I really don't see the appeal in it. Maybe if you have really intense dark scarring, I can see it working for you. But for me, it was really, I don't know, I feel like the concealer does the job by itself. But if you are after a 100% covered, like flawless look, I guess you can go with the Prep and Prime. So I'm just going to show you what you can do. So you just kind of twist it up and you can just apply it like so. So once again, I'll just kind of blend it. So I know it looks a bit weird right now. And then you can go in with a concealer. So I'm just going to quickly pop this on. So the concealer that I have is the MAC NC45 Cream Concealer. So I'll pop it on. But I understand if you really want to cover everything, you can go with the Prep and Prime. So this is what it would generally look like. You'll blend it out way more, and when you apply your foundation on top of it, it would be totally fine. But I don't really like to use my Prep and Prime. I feel like it's really unnecessary for me just because I feel this concealer does the job by itself just as well. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to show you just purely using this concealer. I just want to put this in this little demo because I know I'm going to have questions asked. People are going to be like, what's the Prep and Prime, how to use it, the consistency, stuff like that. So it's definitely a liquidy consistency, but just I know I'm going to be asked questions, so I thought I'd just demonstrate on how it works and what it looks like. So it does leave an orangey tinge. I don't really like that personally, but it does the job when it comes to covering your acne scars. You saw the demonstration on how I use the Prep and Prime and then the matte concealer after, but I generally don't go for that route. I just like going straight in with the concealer. So once again, I've put in the corrective cream, I've put on my moisturizer and the primer, and I am going to go in with my MAC Cream Concealer in NC45. So I have a duo. This is NW40, and what I matched to was NC45. So it's a nice creamy consistency, which I like. So it doesn't dry out your acne scars or acne blemishes or anything like that. And I'm just gonna apply it, and as you can tell, coverage is perfect on this. And just blend it in. And obviously my skin, I'm not covering my whole skin. That's what foundation does, but my main concern, so this area, the nose area and the chin area is definitely covered. This is much more closer to what my actual skin tone is, which is why I reach for it when I know I'm going to be photographed that day. Or if it's like a special event, I generally go for this one just because it matches my skin tone much more closer than the Maybelline Cafe one. But this one, it is, I find that it does the same job as a Maybelline. The only difference is the price and the color. So price, Maybelline is $15. This is, I'm going to say 30 plus. I think it's like yeah, $30 plus, which is pretty expensive for a very little amount. As you can tell, you only get a very, very little amount. So that's what this one looks like. So that's how I cover my acne scarring. I know this video wasn't that glamorous. I'm not really dolled up or anything. My hair's in a bun. I look like a mess kind of just because I've got no foundation on. But you can clearly tell how well these products work without foundation. I really, really love my concealers and I don't like to waste money when it comes to getting concealer. I really do my research. I really look into how well it's pigmented, how well it lasts long throughout the day, and that's another thing I need to mention. These products last all day long. I have no issues when it comes to losing the pigmentation. I can just purely use these products all over my face just to cover the main areas and then apply a powder foundation or a lightweight powder or something like that and just walk out the door and I still look fine. That's what I was doing, I think, for the month of March. If you saw in my get ready with me for uni video, I purely just had on concealer and then put on powder and that was it. So I really, really like these concealers. They are my favorites. They're the only two that I have in my collection. Yeah, so I know it's a very kind of a basic video, as in like there's not a lot of products going on. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I'm purely just showing you how well this concealer works by itself. So if you are interested in these, you can find these anywhere. The MAC ones you can find at a MAC store or even David Jones or Maya, and then the Maybelline one you can find anywhere. Big W, Kmart, Target, any normal department store you can find these. Or Priceline, forgot Priceline. So definitely give it a try. Color range on this is amazing. You can find a color for any skin tone. This one you are limited, so that's a downside. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you once again for requesting this video. If anyone else has any requests, please leave them down below. I've got a couple more request videos coming up. But yeah, so please give a thumbs up for this video. It's a nice quick video. Hopefully it's a nice quick video. So please give a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to my channel, and I will see you all soon. Bye.